for joining us. This presentation is held by Excel Abundance founder and CEO Tracy Holmes. The presentation is for our young girls and our young adult young ladies. The title of the presentation is Respect Me, Respect You, Your Choice. Let's get started, young ladies. So the content we will cover in this presentation is to your right. Please take a minute and just review the list. So we will talk and discuss from great hygiene all the way to credit report and what does a FICO credit score mean to you. And then we'll have closing remarks. Let's get started, shall we? First, let's discuss what does it mean to have a great hygiene. The first way to respect yourself is starting with great hygiene. Young ladies, let's discuss what good hygiene looks like. First of all, what's very important is keeping your bodies fresh and clean. That means taking a shower or bathing every day. Wash your hair as often as needed. Comb your hair. Keep your hair looking nice and neat as possible. Don't forget to lotion your body, especially the elbows, your face, your feet, and your knees. You don't want no ashy knees. You don't want ashy elbows. So take a look at your elbows right now. Are they ashy? Are they smooth? And the lotion down or some type of moisturizer placed on your skin so you can keep your body nice and moisturized. And it'll look younger as the years go by. Please always remember to put deodorant on. And put a good amount of deodorant on to ensure you have no body odor for the day. You want to smell, again, fresh and clean. When's the last time you checked your fingernails or your toenails? Look at them right now. Look at your fingernails. Now, when you get home tonight and you take off your shoes, look at your toenails. Are they clean? Take a toenail clipper and clip them down if they're too long. Ensure you brush your teeth twice a day, including flossing. Did you know that by flossing your teeth more often, you'll live longer? Keep your bedroom clean. You'll be very surprised to know that the habits that you make today will follow you into adulthood in the years to come. So keep those bedrooms clean. Straighten up, make your bed up in the morning before you leave for the day, or make your bed up when you come home from school. Pick your stuff up off the floor. It's very important. You don't want to look like a slob. You don't want to have, when you get to be a certain age and you get your own apartment or you have a roommate. You don't want to be a slob. You want to be neat and clean and keep your stuff together. Then a person would want to, live with you and have you as a roommate. So keep that in mind. Let's move on. Hygiene continued. If you're a high schooler, and if you are experiencing hairy areas on your body, such as armpits or legs, I would encourage you to talk to your parents, especially girls, of course, especially talk to your mothers if they are available, and discuss which safe products are better for you to utilize to shave. Now, when wearing makeup, I encourage you to try and look natural. Your goal is to look natural, or the boys may mistake your looks for someone else, let's just say that represents someone not so nice. Remember, always do your best to wear clean clothes. Try and ensure your clothes are neat as well. It's important to take a few minutes and look in the mirror. Care about how you look. Check the mirror and look at yourself from your head to your toe. Make sure you are presentable before you leave the house. Make sure your hair is neat and your face is washed, and you put on lotion to moisturize your face so that it will protect your skin when you get out there in the environment and all those particles are floating around. And for your hair, young ladies, if you have to, take like a band and put it on your head and push your hair back so your hair can be, just back or up if you have a short do. You're encouraged to help your parents out by doing some chores. I stay on top of my young daughter as well to help out around the house. And do it because you need to do it and because you want to do it. It will make your parents very happy. It's a great time to learn how to cook, as it will be beneficial when you move out on your own. So again, learn how to keep the house clean, learn how to cook, and learn how to manage your allowance if you get allowance. And if not, when you get to the age of 16, you can start looking for work and then learn to manage your small checks, the checks that you will get. Let's move on. So we are still discussing great hygiene. Keep something on your lips so they don't chafe or start bleeding. So for example, something like chapstick or lip gloss or Vaseline, just keep something on your lips so that they can stay moist and not get dry and start cracking. Also, drink lots of water. It not only helps clear your skin, but it's good to keep yourself hydrated. You need lots of water, at least 4 to 8 cups a day. If you don't have time to do your hair, as we discussed earlier on, pull it back into a ponytail and or use a hairband to push your hair back and go. Now let's talk about the best way to wrap your used sanitary napkin and or maxi pad. You never want to just throw it away in the garbage without rolling it up first, well, with toilet paper and or paper towel and or whatever is in the bathroom that you can roll it up in, preferably toilet paper or tissue. Don't allow anyone to see any of the contents in your maxi pads. That's how well you need to roll it up. In addition, keep a few in your backpack, maxi pads, to be prepared in case of emergency. Some of you young ladies may be irregular. That means your period may not always start on time. So you want to always be prepared. Always carry a few extra in your backpack and or your purse. Remember, respect yourself enough to care. I know it sounds like a lot, young ladies and young girls, but it's worth your time to get started now while you're young. You want to form great habits now because they will stay with you as you continue to get older. Let's move on. Let's talk about the traits of a lady. As parents, we invest a great deal of time and resources developing our daughters academically, in athletics, our artistic talent, with little or no thought as to what is required for her to mature into a lady. A lady understands that her appearance, behavior, and way of communicating provide others with valuable insight into her character. That means into her character, her personality, who she is. She knows that her true beauty is not acquired at a makeup counter with a new outfit or by following the latest Hollywood trend or what the friends think. Rather, she understands true beauty is first inward. It starts inside. A lady understands that her real strength is not found in trying to be like a man, but rather in being gracious, thoughtful, kind, intelligent, self-assured, and poised. Let's dig deeper into this topic. Ladies in training. You are now considered a lady in training. Let's get started. Number one, a lady is generous with her time, wisdom. That means with her awareness and resources. She is a woman of her word and follows through with her commitments, whatever the cost. She willingly serves others and extends a hand to those in need. So that means you're a young girl, a young woman who is very helpful. She keeps her word. If she says she's going to do something, she's going to do just that thing. And if she can't, and if she is unable to do so, she will let that person know that I'm sorry, things have changed, and I will not be able to do that I had promised you that I could do. And just say, please forgive me. She also extends her help to others. So if you see someone else going through, maybe some girl at school, maybe somebody's picking on her, step up and say, hey, that's not cool. That's not good. You shouldn't be picking on others. Don't be bullying someone else. Don't bully at all because it's not tolerated. Or if someone is just in need, maybe she's crying, whether it be a friend or someone you don't know, just walk up to them and say, are you okay? And encourage them. It only takes a few minutes to be the bigger person and step up to the plate and show you care. Next, number two, a lady possesses a positive outlook on life. Her humor, she's funny. You have wisdom. You think about things, before you make decisions. And you are consistent about encouraging others. Because remember, encouragement attracts others to you. When you're a positive person who is shown as encouraging others, not being a backbiter, or talking about someone and then you smile in their face the next day, that's not cool at all. Remember that, young ladies. Be real, be transparent, be loyal. Number three, she maintains a teachable posture and embraces change for the better. That means you take criticism well. I mean, if someone say, you know what, that wasn't cool the way you were talking to the young girl. So a young lady also does not compare herself to others, but she embraces her own personal strengths and she accepts her weaknesses. So whatever that you're not good at, or you can work better at, be okay with that. Don't compare yourself to others and say, I wish I was like her, because guess what? She also has weaknesses, and those might be your strengths. So work on you and have a teachable posture. That means if the teacher says something to you, accept it and take it and be a better person. Number four, a lady models consideration and how she treats others. She demonstrates respect, restraint, and personal responsibility in her appearance, behavior, and communication. She is honorable and values and respects others. So remember, treat others as you will have others to treat you. You want to be honored? Honor others. You want to be valued and respected? Well, do the same to others. So she is gracious and inclusive. That means she's thorough. When she speaks, she's thorough. She makes a point. She makes her point of what she would like to communicate to the person who is listening. And number 10, a lady manages her home. So think about this. When you all get married, or when you all get your own home, and you have, you're married, you have a relationship, a lady manages her home and the needs of her family. She creates a welcome, peaceful, loving, and nourishing environment, a safe shelter from the storms of life. That's what a lady creates for her home. Her actions reflect whom she has chosen to be rather than base them upon the opinions of others. So remember that, young girls and young women. Don't base who you are off the opinions of others. You be you and be comfortable at being you. Okay? Because remember, you can't please everyone. So don't try to please everyone. Just be yourself. And if you can't be yourself, then they really are not your true friends in the first place. Because you shouldn't have to change yourself for others. Because you'll always be trying to change yourself. Now we are going to cover and talk about respecting others. In other words, respect your peers like you would like to be treated, like you would like to be respected. Okay, let's move on. Yourselves to be respected and show kindness to others. By allowing yourself to be respected, what you are saying is that for a young girl, let's think about this. If a young boy hits you all the time, that generally means he likes you. Now, if you're in junior high school and or high school and a young boy or young adult male asks you to a dance, well, he may like you and or he just might want a date to go to the dance with, and he feels like, you'll be good conversation, you'll be a good person to take to the dance with, and you'll be at his intellectual level. That means he feels that he can talk to you, you can hang out, and he can have a fun time with you at the dance, of course, dancing on the floor and just having a good conversation and nothing else. So try and be kind to him if you don't want to go to the dance and or someone else asks you already. Just remember, as you're letting him down, and you might want to say something like, I appreciate you asking, but at this time someone else has asked me, and or you can say, at this time I just chose to go with a lot of my friends, but thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Have a good day. Because it took him a lot of courage, remember that, to come up and ask you. In addition, if he offers to open a door for you, let him. Chances are he is practicing to be a gentleman. And learn not to be rude to your classmates. Remember, treat others as you would have others to treat you. That means be kind to one another. If you see a classmate who may be sitting on the steps crying and or she's sitting by herself, it won't hurt to go over there and say, are you okay? Is everything all right? Maybe sit down and talk to her for a few minutes. Sometimes some people just need someone to listen to them and just to hear them out. So remember, what will it cost you to stop and say hello? The answer is nothing. Remember, show kindness and you'll be a better person for it. Let's talk about being a teen mom. Do you wish to become a teen mother? Do you dream about becoming a teen mother? Most of you would probably say no. babies and CSC, which is an acronym for Child Support Enforcement. Have you ever thought about having sex in elementary school? I hope you don't, but I'm really talking to the 5th and 6th graders. Hopefully, 4th graders and below are not talking about sex. But this is a very important subject because I know in junior high, and I believe the 5th and 6th graders in elementary and high school students are either thinking about engaging in sex or they're engaging in sex. And so I would encourage you to refrain from having sex and stay, keep from having sex, which is abstinence, until you get married. That's what I would encourage. I would highly encourage that. Although you can probably get support from perhaps your family and maybe his family when that baby comes. If you have sex, unprotected sex, you have a high possibility, young ladies, of getting pregnant. And at this time, if you get pregnant, know that even though you can get help from the state to help with diapers and food for the baby and some other things, do you really want to be pregnant as a teenager? Think about it. That will impact your life as a teenager. That will impact you going out with your girlfriends anytime you want to, or anytime your parents will allow you to go out with your girlfriends and hang out and just, go to the football games, the basketball games, the baseball games, or go out and have a shake or a burger. Having a baby will interrupt all of that. So know that when a baby comes, there are plenty of doctor visits, there are dental visits. You're going to have to take the baby just about everywhere you go, unless you're going to work or in school. So is that something you are prepared to do? When the baby starts growing up, you'll be the one, teaching the baby how to walk, talk. You'll be the one, young ladies, getting up in the middle of the night when they're screaming their heads off and they need their diaper changed. They need to be fed. Your sleep will be interrupted while your boyfriend or the baby's father is at home sleeping comfortable in his bed with no noise at all, having a nice sleep for the night while your sleep have been interrupted. So, but if you get pregnant, there is support out there for you as far as, like I said, the state. Now, whatever state you are located in or whatever country you live in, I'm not sure about their rules or regulations on what they can and cannot do for you as far as support. But I know in the state of Washington, they can take up to 25% of the baby's father salary once he turns 18 and starts working. They can start garnishing his paycheck up to 25% of his salary. And so, again, young ladies, protect yourself. If you can't, abstain from having sex, protect yourself. Talk to your parents, talk to your mom, talk to your dad and your mom. Sit them down and talk to them and ask them, how can I get protection, or this is what's on my mind, or maybe they can talk to you and you'll decide not to have sex. For my children, I made a promise to them. And my promise to my children, each of them, was, and I realize everyone can't do this, but my promise to my children was that if they abstain from sex through high school, graduate from high school, I will bless them with $500. And I tell you, my first and second, my two older ones, they kept their promise that they made to me. And I blessed them with $500 each. And my third child, she's in the 9th grade, but I made that same promise to her. So I would encourage the parents, if they're listening, to, make some kind of promise. Even if it's like, I'll take you out to, a nice restaurant or a restaurant of your choice, and we'll go, and sit and just, celebrate you. I hope that your parents can celebrate you. But if not, do it for yourself. Do it out of respect for your body. Because, young ladies, no boy deserves to take your virginity except they put a ring on your finger and they say, I do to you, and you say, I do to them. So remember, respect yourself, and they will in turn respect you. It's your choice. You have a choice at the end of the day. I have a clip from a show called Teen Moms documentary. So when you get a chance, click on the YouTube, which is below here. Just click on it and see a little clip of a real life teen that had a baby, and check out some of her struggles. And I will tell you this, if you get pregnant and you have your child and you're faced with all of these things that I've talked about here, I also want you to know that children are a blessing. I just encourage you to have them at a particular age that you can be fully responsible for your child. That means you can have your own apartment or have your own home, and you're at an age where you are able to comprehend what it is to be a parent and what it is to be totally responsible, And so that's what I encourage you to do. Parenting can be a struggle, but at the same time, it is rewarding. Again, I would just highly encourage you to wait until you graduate from high school, and or if you go on to college. If you can, wait till after college. If you can't, that's totally understandable, because at least you're older, and again, you can handle the responsibility, because after you graduate from high school, you are now considered an adult. 18 and over, you're considered an adult. Okay, let's move on from here. Let's talk about career and goal setting. Ask yourself, what do you wish to do in life? Because remember, you want to make a life. You don't just want to work. You want to make a life. You want to do something that you're very passionate about. So think about that. Let's take some time to talk about career dreams and aspirations to make a life, not just a living. I put a few ideas together of some careers in which you all might have not thought about yet. Some yes, but some perhaps not. And so take a look. We have pharmacists. Have you ever thought about being a scientist? Maybe a dentist, a police officer. How about a retail clothing buyer for Nordstrom's or Saks Fifth Avenue? Or a buyer for Macy's and or Bloomingdale's if you live in those states that have the Bloomingdale stores. Or perhaps a chief executive officer, also known as the CEO of a company. It's doable. Remember, it doesn't matter the environment, you grew up in, where you were raised. the city or the location. There is nothing that you cannot achieve. Remember that. Some careers might not even require a college degree. You might want to be an entrepreneur and start your own company. Colleges offer financial aid. Remember this, and or Pell Grants that will help pay for your college tuition and pay for your books. Trust me, I'm a living witness. So remember, push for your degree if you're interested in going to college. That means study hard, get good grades. If you need to stay after school, stay after school. If you need extra homework, or, go up to your teacher and say, I would like extra credit. How can I get extra credit? Because I'm trying to get great grades. I want to earn an excellent grade out of your class. And so remember, whatever desires you have and or dreams and goals, they can come true. I encourage you, leave a legacy behind for your children and your children's children. Leave something behind. Work smart, be diligent, have tenacity, and live your dream. And at the end, you'll leave a legacy behind for your children. They can take over your businesses. So as Denzel Washington once quoted, do what you need to do now so you can do what you want to do later. Think about that for a few seconds while we move along. Respecting yourself pays off. Remember, strive hard to get excellent grades. Do your best. It will pay off one day. Help others along the way. Teamwork. Teamwork, as they say in corporate office, makes the dream work. So teamwork. Help others. Strive. Do your best. Do your very best. If you have to, ask for extra credit after school. Do what you need to do today so you can do what you want to do later. That's a quote from Denzel Washington. Thought I'd throw that one in for you. All right, let's move on. So I know those of you who are sitting there listening to this presentation, you may want to take an intermission right now. Stretch your legs and arms, perhaps visit the ladies' room. Take a 10-minute break, and then come on back and let's continue. Welcome back. Now we're going to discuss texting and drinking and driving. Do you drive? Are you in high school? When you drive, do you find yourself texting and or drinking while at the wheel? Let's discuss. So I'm here to remind you, please don't text or drink and drive at the wheel. Don't let the driver text while you're a passenger in the vehicle. Don't let them text while they're driving. Please remember, when you text and drive and are drinking and driving, the persons that usually end up dead are the passengers. If you look at the statistics, you will see that the passenger is the one that usually dies in a car accident. Usually not the driver, but the driver will face, they will face prison time. If they do survive and walk, and the passenger, dies in the car wreck, or even if the passenger don't die but gets wounded very badly, they are going to charge the driver for that accident. And something you might want to do is just tell the driver, can you please don't text while you drive? I would greatly appreciate that. We have a close friend of our family, and I remember her telling the story that she had called her grandson. He had just graduated from high school, and he was in the passenger seat, and his friend was driving on the day of graduation. And his grandmother called him, and she was on the phone with him, and she was just telling him how excited she was and proud of him that he graduated from high school. And, she's just talking to him, telling him how proud she was. And the next thing she knew, the phone call went dead. Like the phone went dead. Little did she know, at that specific time, her grandson was just in an accident, and he died that day, on his way to celebrate, I should say, his graduation from high school. Now, these pictures are none of the pictures here this young man was in, but I'm using pictures of real accidents that has happened due to texting and drinking and driving. So look at those pictures. Look how bad those cars were smashed. I mean, ask yourself, would you want to end up like that? I'm sure your answer would be no. Remember, you only have one life. So make wise choices. Make the best decisions. Let's move on. Let's talk about jail and prison. Do you find yourself in trouble with the law? I hope not. And or have friends who are always seem to be in trouble with the law. Do you dream of going to jail or prison? Most people don't. I want the young ladies to know that you have many choices at school and in your community. You can choose to hang with young girls who fight, smoke, or on drugs, sleeping around and having a lot of sex with boys and adult boys or men, and go to jail and or prison behind all of that. You want to think twice about your actions. When you are incarcerated, the police officers tell you when to go to sleep, when to wake up, what time you can take a shower, because there's only a window. There's a window to take a shower. And what that means is there's a time slot from this time to that time to take showers. You can't just be coming and going as you want to all the time. They'll tell you when you can watch TV or when TV time is over. And let me tell you, when I was in there visiting, I did jail ministry, and so while I walked through where the cells were, there's only one TV out of, it seemed like there were like probably 75 cells with 2 people to a cell. So can you imagine? Everybody had to agree on one TV show. They tell you when you can have free time, when you can play cards or dominoes or whatever. They tell you when you have free time to do everything. And most of the prison showers are very nasty and dirty. And you have to eat whatever they serve or you don't eat at all. And you can't buy snacks unless someone is putting money on your books. That means someone is coming up to the jail or the prison and they're saying, here's $20 or here's $10, put this on so-and-so books so that they can buy, whatever they need in there. to keep themselves maybe groomed, or maybe they want snacks, candy bars. They can't just go out and go to the store and go get this stuff. So think about that. I've included a YouTube video on a show called Beyond Scared Straight to just give you an idea, young ladies, of what how the inside of a jail operates with the incarcerated. So take some time out to review that. I wanted to just share with you, you can't get up and go get some popcorn and sit back in the chair and watch TV like you can right now at home. You don't have the freedom that you have at home. You don't have that freedom. That freedom is taken away from you. I added another video from Beyond Scared Straight. I think because I believe that it's important for you to see reality, what really goes on inside a jail and a prison, and how you will be treated if you don't get yourself together and get right. If you're on a road to destruction, get yourself together. Straighten yourself up. It's time out for all that foolishness, and it's time to look at yourself and say, you know what? I'm more important than this. I'm worthy to live a life of success. Start working on your grades. Do what you need to do. Go on YouTube and look up, if you're having trouble in math, you can go on YouTube and type in algebra, beginning algebra. They have professors out there on YouTube that would help you, get a good understanding of what you're working on in math or in English or whatever you need help on. I'm telling you, YouTube has everything out there today. So if you don't have a friend that you can sit with after school and they can go over your homework and help you, or you can't stay after to talk to a teacher, get to a library or go home and get on your computer or laptop and pull up YouTube and type in whatever you need help on. Trust me, there is a professor out there, someone out there that's training some people in that area because there is a need. Let's move on. So this is a jail in the city of Kent. Again, I served as part of the jail ministry for 16 years. And this is one of the jails that I, again, visited, and I walked inside and I, with someone else, or usually a few of us, because we can never go in there by ourselves. But we would go in, 2 or 3 of us, sometimes 4 of us. And we will walk down the long, long corridor to get to the unit that we were visiting, to sing songs and give encouraging words. And so, but I want you to know, this whole time that I was part of the jail ministry, I never once saw 2 friends who were arrested together be put in the same cell together. So keep that in mind. They don't just it's not a party in there. It's not a party. So when your girlfriends say, oh, we're in there with you till the end. We got your back, because at the end of the day, you are in there by yourself. I've seen some young people in there, too young to me to be in jail. 19, 18, 17, they're too young to be in there. I should say 18 is the youngest. So think about making better choices and the right choices. So I also visited once the Monroe Prison, which is in the state of Washington. You see below, now this prison, the picture of the prison right here is called Purdy, and it's a women's prison. And you see all the women sitting around the tables eating, and you see their cells. You see where it says rooms with the red arrow pointing at the rooms. That's where they sleep. So that's their little rooms. And the rooms, the cells are as if you stand up and you stretch both of your hands out, Most cells are just that big. They're not big at all. I should say that small. And so you share a cell with someone and you share a toilet. You all have one toilet in there. So that means when you go to the bathroom, your cellmate could be right there sitting in the top bed. That means whatever you got to do in that bathroom or on that toilet, they're sitting right there in the room with you. You have no privacy whatsoever. Can you imagine? Your life will change drastically. And the other to the right, I have a picture of the Supermax prison in Chicago, which I visited. I went with a friend because she visited her brother in there. And so I went with her. And I tell you, the Supermax prison is worse than prison itself. The Supermax prison is where prisoners go who just don't listen and continue to get in trouble with the guards over and over and over and over again. Or they're not relinquishing information of maybe former gang members or what have you. And so they can transfer you to the Supermax prison. The system takes over your life. So you no longer have the freedom that you once had if you choose to continue to go down the path of destruction. Let's move on. Share some dating tips and the making of a lady. So again, just want to pass on a few tidbits of advice. The high schoolers, and I believe probably some of you junior high young ladies or young girls go out on dates as well. Well, the first thing, don't chase a young boy or gentleman. Let him ask you out, and then use your intuition that the Lord gave you to make the decision if you should go with him or not. So don't use your heart, but use your intuition. Intuition is that voice in your body or in your mind that says, I don't know, it feels like something sketchy, or I don't feel very comfortable around this person. He's cute, but I don't feel very comfortable. That's your intuition. Go with your intuition and say, kindly say, no, thank you. Kindly. Don't be rude. Secondly, make sure he is of age to date you. These days you can look people up online on Facebook or all of these social media tactics. You can use them all to look people up. So make sure you're not dating, going out with someone you're in high school and he's in his mid 20s or late 20s. Young ladies, please do not get caught up with a young man that much older than you. Not while you're in high school, please. Third, have him knock on the door to meet your parents before you go anywhere with him. Your parents should see the face of this young man. If something, God forbid, something happens, they need to know what he looks like. Because if somebody comes to your parents and say, well, what's the name of the guy and what does he look like? And the parents don't know, well, then the cops have nothing to go by. Unless, you have introduced him to your friend, one of your best friends, one of your BFFs, or whatever you guys use today. So always have this individual meet your parents or meet someone that is, your elder. My younger sister has someone, I'm going to share this story with you. My younger sister had someone that she knew of help her move one day. And she had no idea that he was really into her. That means he really, really liked her. And she had a 2-year-old daughter in the apartment, and she had him help her move a table or something inside her apartment. And he wanted to kiss her, and he wanted to take advantage of her, and she said no. And he threatened her 2-year-old at first, and she protected her 2-year-old at the same time of fighting this man or trying to fight him. But I never met her family. None of us never met this young man. We didn't know what he looked like. And we didn't even know his name. I knew her friend told us his first name. But, he assaulted her. So that's why you have to be very careful of who you allow in your presence and who you are, who you're going to date with. I would encourage you, if you're driving, young ladies, and you're dating, to drive yourself to the restaurant or to wherever you're meeting until you get to know this person a little more. And when I say get to know him a little more, I mean for a couple of months, 2-3 months, get to know him. At least 2 months. Because that way, if you drive your own vehicle, then you can drive your own self home, and be protected. Another one of our friends, a family friend of ours, her daughter had just turned 26 years old. And ladies, I'm sharing this with you, especially the high school girls right now, young ladies. Even though she was 26, she went out and she partied, and this young man, or this man told her, he introduced himself as a doctor. And what he did was he slipped a rape drug in her drink, her alcoholic beverage. And when she drank it, of course, she lost all control of her body. And so he took her to a hotel, and she was found dead 2 days later. So again, please use your intuition, young ladies in high school that are dating and junior high. Use your intuition and not your heart. Okay, and if you feel an uneasiness about this person, then don't go with them, because that's your sign. Something's telling you that he can't be trusted for whatever reason, and please go with that. Okay, so those are some important dating tips to remember. Let's move on. Looks like I got a few more dating tips. Ensure you introduce, as again, I just want to reiterate, introduce a young man to your father if he is around, and if not, an older brother. And if you don't have either, an adult you trust that's around. Take a picture of him with your cell phone and send it to your best friend with his first and last name and/or your mother. If you have some perfume, and this is why you're preparing yourself for your date, if you have some perfume or just some nice scented lotion, put that on just so you can smell nice and fresh and have a little scent going on. Meet him, like I said, meet him at the destination in your own car. And don't let him know where you live too soon. It's not good. When I was dating and I was living alone, young ladies, I'm telling you this, that are in high school, so you can remember this after you graduate from high school and you continue dating. I drove to the destination, to the restaurants, to meet these men because I didn't want them to know where I live. And so, you may not want them to know where you live. So tell them you'll meet them there. If you have a vehicle, meet them there. You want to dress appropriate. Let your body be a mystery to their eyes. Don't have all your breast out, and don't have your buns all out and showing that. Okay? Have some class about you. That means dress appropriate. Cover your breast and cover your cheeks, cover your buns. You know, have your dress lower. Don't have it too short because you will give them a different impression about you. So like my mother always said, if you give them the cow and the milk, then they have nothing to chase or hunt for. So that means don't give them sex, don't give them yourself and give them sex. You give them everything, then he might not stay around too long because then the hunt has ended. You're giving them everything free and not making them earn your attention and love. They should earn it, young ladies. Don't just give it to them. Don't tease boys or young men because then you'll get them upset. And be careful about that. You don't want to get them aggravated and then they get upset, and then some you don't want them to get violent and upset saying, you teased me and you acted like you were going to give it to me. You don't want to get in those predicaments. Again, you attract the way you dress. That's the kind of individual you're going to attract to you, the way you dress. So again, don't let your buttocks show while wearing your shorts. Don't have your breasts hanging all out your blouse. That is not sexy or cute. I know you feel that it is because you're young and you think that that's sexy and you think that that's cute, probably because that's the way these dancers, these entertainers are dressing. But please be modest. Wear modest apparel. You'll attract trouble if you don't. You could attract trouble, I should say. Remember, respect yourself. That's even in the way you dress. Others will respect you. It's your choice. It's a choice, girls and young ladies. It all boils down to choices. When ordering food, depending on how much money he has on him, which you probably won't know, don't order a lot of food. Don't order a lot of food you know you're not going to eat. Order your main dish and a drink. So order a drink, maybe even dessert, or just get full. Please don't ask him to pay for your friends' meals or ask him to buy once you get out of high school and you start having, or if you have children, you're a single parent with children, don't ask him to buy a plate for you to take home to your children. That's uncouth. That means that is tacky, young ladies. So restrain yourself from doing that. If he takes you out, that is exactly what he's doing. He's taking you and you alone out to eat and on a date. So respect him and his time. Thank him for the date at the end. Let him know you had a great time if you did, and if not, just thank him for the date and leave and go home and tell him to have a nice evening. Today, you all can block numbers or block people off of everything. Just remember, choose wisely. Sometimes it's not good to burn all your bridges. You never know when you have to come crossing back over that bridge. That means that person could one day maybe be a manager that you have an interview with. So again, be kind when you have to say something, negative or turn someone down. Just try to be kind about it. It's okay to help leave a tip if you see him struggling to pay for the meal. But most times, if a man or a young man asks you out on a date, he should be able to take care of the total bill. Perhaps you're asking what qualifies me. I was a single parent, raising 2 girls and a son for a little bit until I remarried. And although my second daughter is 13 years, her eldest sister, she was raised with the father in the house, and her biological father was a constant in her life. My girls are strong-willed, they're intelligent, optimistic, and they are gorgeous. I always call my girls gorgeous. I always give my children compliments, because when someone else out in the streets give them a compliment, it won't go over their head or, cause them to have a big head, because they were raised with their mother always giving them compliments. I've always told my girls they are very pretty, they are strong, they can do all things when they put their minds to it. And young ladies, you can too, and young girls. My girls are high achievers in school, leaders, and they set great example for their peers. I also taught them to be diversified, talk to everyone, no matter what culture they came from. Don't look down on anyone. Treat others with the same respect as you would have them to treat you. My eldest daughter, she attended Green River College in the Running Star program in the 12th grade as a senior in high school before transferring to Clark Atlanta University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in fashion and marketing. And her passion is designing wedding gowns and clothes for women and babies. She loves to travel abroad, and she is a mother of a little boy, which is my second grandson. My youngest daughter enjoys Japanese in high school. She enjoys hip hop dance and science. Anything that has anything to do with science, she loves it. She loves theater, and she loves the arts. She is very creative, and all that she does, she enjoys being an auntie of 2 nephews and loves sports. And like I said, she loves plays at theaters and the Alvin Ailey productions she loves. She enjoys Disney musicals and plays, and they are just well-rounded young ladies. I worked hard to ensure such. I educated them regarding credit and the FICO scores and what it means and the importance of saving their money. I encouraged them to get a job at the age of 16. And so my children, they have worked, they know how to save money and spend wisely. They don't always spend wisely, my girls, but for the most part, they do. And they love saving money. And I also had a son, and I taught him the importance of these things as well. And I taught my girls about boys as such as I'm teaching you today. Ladies, if you are dealing with some type of abuse, which includes alcohol, drugs, rape, physical abuse, any abuse, please call the phone number below, which is on the next screen, it looks like. But they are a crisis intervention. They have a hotline if you're going through any of these things listed below here, and they'll be more than happy to help talk to you. The phone number is 1-888-265-6273. You know, a family can be the heart of the human community, but a family can also be a source of anger, grief, and betrayal. When loved ones have become interwoven with violence, the nature of the family changes. It becomes no less powerful, but far less capable of supporting and nurturing, as the family becomes a vehicle for personal destruction and despair. In such a case, change is necessary. Whether you are a victim looking for help as you face or recover from domestic violence, an abuser determined to learn how to control impulses that betray your real desire and the trust of those you love, or if you are a friend or associate trying to find support and healing for those close to you, counseling can offer hope. So the advantages of counseling are restoring hope, to a family and individuals, teach all involved how to combat domestic violence and in home and in the heart, and provide practical guidance, methods, and techniques for dealing with violence, and provide a secure process for coping with trauma after abuse. Child abuse is the bitterest betrayal. A child, helpless and unable to make fully informed choices, present strong resistance, or pursue a safe escape, has a right to expect adult protection and support. Child abuse, whether through violence, emotional abuse, or sexual molestation, breaks faith with the obligation owed to all children. When abuse happens to a child, it is imperative that efforts be made to provide new security for a child and then to heal the damage done as humanly possible. Living up to the obligation, a child in adult hands, helping and healing, finding a professional to help, and is a major commitment. And so call that same 188 number that I gave you on the previous screen. We owe it to our children to help them. Remember, it takes a village to raise our children. Let's be part of that village. Credit report, I'm just going to touch a little bit on it. And your FICO credit score. Ladies, when you get to college, you'll start receiving a lot of emails and or mail to apply for credit cards. Be very careful of doing so. Ensure you don't load yourself down with a great amount of additional debt with credit cards. Perhaps just select one credit card for emergency use and pay your items charged off that month, or make a monthly budget for any large purchases you charge. Make a monthly budget, and pay towards that debt on time. You see, everyone will gain a FICO credit score once they begin paying on loans and are using credit cards. Check your score once a year free by contacting the 3 credit bureaus, which are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You can contact them by way of calling them or emailing them or writing them. And you can find their information by Googling it. Just Google Experian Credit Bureau. Your score will can range from 300 at the lowest to 850, which is the highest. And the higher your credit score is, the lower interest rate you'll have when you make big purchases, such as for a car or for a home. I have put together a PowerPoint presentation discussing this topic in depth. See the YouTube video titled Credit Score Cleanup for more information. Thank you for your time. We are at Excel Abundance. Hope you leave with a wealth of knowledge that will help steer you in the right direction. These tools will hopefully help you make smarter and wiser decisions in your daily lives. Remember, think about things before you make a choice to do something. Think about what was said. All that has been said is to keep you on a safe path of life and to keep you out of harm's way and out of jail and prison. Remember not to text and drive, or if you are in the passenger seat and the driver is texting, ask them to please stop while you're in the car. Don't leave your drink open for someone to place a date rape drug in it. Beware of all your surroundings at all times. If something doesn't look right, then call someone or walk into the nearest store where you're in a public place and a lot of people are around. If you feel you're being followed, walk to the store. Or if you're driving and someone seems to be following you, drive to the police station or the fire station. Honk your horn. till someone comes out and let them know what's going on. Show respect to others, and they will in turn respect you. Remember, it's your choice. Also, be nice to young men and respectful. If you have a situation and need to call and report a situation, please do so with the National Crisis Center. Girls, remember, you're a lady in training. Respect yourselves, starting with respecting your own body. Thank you again for your time, and have a wonderful day. If you have any questions or wish to get a hold of me, you can contact me at tracarr@msn.com is my email address. Thank you again for your time, and have a wonderful day.